The long-term market rent was about like $2,000. I, on the STR side, made around like 4,500 on average throughout the year. And with the first insurance contract, we were able to secure local family, like just like 2 adults, 2 dogs, because we do have a fenced-in backyard.
Hmm.
That was their kind of criteria. And we were fairly close to their home as well. The insurance company paid us 6,300 every month.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast by Investor Fuel. I'm your host, Cody Crabb, and today I'm talking to Anja Schaer. Anja runs Peach House Group in Metro Atlanta, where she helps owners use a hybrid rental strategy, mixing short-term and midterm rentals for more stability. She's also got a wild path from East Germany to real estate here in the United States. Anja, thanks so much for being here. I can tell this is going to be a good one.
Thanks so much, Cody, for having me.
So I'd love to give our audience a little peek. I mean, how did you go from growing up in East Germany to building a real estate business in the U.S.? As we were chatting before, you mentioned that if only they could see you now, right? Like that they might be like,
Yeah.
the Americans got to you, yeah, right. So I'd love to hear that story, because it sounds like it's a wild ride.
It has been really a wild and interesting story for me coming from Germany. And I never had any plans leaving the country. I never had any plans like immigrating to the US. It just kind of happened, when once I met my husband and they already had connections to the States. And at some point we just said, you know what? We just should give it a try. What's the worst we can happen? We give it a year. If it doesn't work, we just move back to Germany. We are still in the US. Things have worked out. And again, I'm just grateful. But Cody already mentioned, my name is Anja Schaer. I'm from the Metro Atlanta area. I live here with my husband, our 2 sons, and 2 cats. And it's been a super interesting ride so far. Starting with e-commerce, living in Florida, then we moved to Atlanta. And thanks to Facebook, actually, Facebook made us do it. We jumped into real estate investing, dabbled a little bit with fix and flips, moved into wholesaling, and now specializing on furnished rentals, combining short-term and midterm rentals. And we developed our own kind of hybrid rental strategy to help homeowners maximize profits with their assets, with their properties. And this works well here in the Metro Atlanta area and our urban markets. And we started Peach House Group officially at the beginning of this year. I got my broker's license, started my own brokerage. And now we are just putting a lot of work and focus in building Peach House, building the systems, growing our team, building the brand. So people are, learning more about Peach House or see us more on on social media, or finding us actually now on ChatGPT. That's the fun part now with AI. I'm asking clients, like, how did you find us? Oh, ChatGPT suggested your company. And I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Interesting.
I think our SEO is working with our website, and that's all my husband's part. Like, he's doing all the the systems
Gotcha. Yeah.
side. He loves to dabble into AI. So we try to also implement and use this right away in building our business, building our brand with Peach House. But it's doing great. We are busy onboarding a few more properties now over the summer, and it's been an interesting journey so far.
Yeah, to say the least. Wow, that's awesome. So the thing that catches my attention, I mean, a lot of things catch my attention about what you said, but something that really catches my attention is this hybrid rental strategy. So our audience is made of all kinds of investors. I talk to lots of different people with lots of different strategies. Midterm rentals is not one that I hear very often. So I'd love to, introduce our audience to like a simple version of your hybrid rental strategy and midterm rentals specifically.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, we started with, like a lot of investors, I guess 2019, we started with furnished rentals and just throwing those properties on Airbnb. And then over time, I was started following a couple of people on social media that were doing not just short-term rentals, but midterm rentals. And I was really curious to see, okay, how does it work for them? And is this maybe something I can apply to my own properties? Because as you all know, short-term rentals, Airbnbs, it's a very demanding business. It's a very, very high workload. You have to schedule all those cleaners. There's like 4, 5, 6 guests moving in and out per month. So there's a lot of scheduling. Vendors have to go in between. Cleaners have to restock supplies, and it's a lot of also wear and tear on the properties. And I started following a couple of people in my market and also nationwide, see them applying the midterm rental strategy and oftentimes securing leads from temporary housing agencies, displaced families that had either water damage, fire damage, maybe a tree fell on the house, and they were providing housing for them. Couple of weeks, a couple of months until their own house was restored. So I started looking into this and said, okay, maybe let's just for one property, let's just give it a try. I submitted it to those temporary housing agencies. They have websites. You can just submit your property. And when they have a need in your area, they would reach out by email or call you. And for the first property, we got a call fairly quickly. It was a regular, like 1,000 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, nothing too fancy. The long-term market rent was about like $2,000. I, on the STR side, made around like $4,500 on average throughout the year. And with the first insurance contract, we were able to secure local family, like just like 2 adults, 2 dogs, because we do have a fenced-in backyard. That was their kind of criteria. And we were fairly close to their home as well. The insurance company paid us $6,300 every month. So it was making me more money than on the STR side. And I only had to, I showed them the property, like did an initial walkthrough. They loved the house, said, let's go ahead. I did the move-in inspection with them. And then going forward, I only had I was touching base with them once a month because we require mandatory monthly cleanings, especially with pets. So we have also eyes on the property.
Yeah.
Cleaners gave us some feedback. How do things look like? Everything's fine. And then they kept extending. The initial contract was 3 months. They kept extending. I think at the end, they stayed with me for 6 months. And then we already got the next lead. So we had 2 days to turn the property over, clean everything, move the next couple in that also had a dog.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
They stayed for 7 months and we got paid $6,500
Wow.
every single month. So from a cash flow perspective, cash flow was way better. I only had one guest in there for 6 months and the other one for 7 months. So my workload was really low, but my cash flow was way higher than
Yeah.
on the short-term rental side. So
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like we are onto something here. Let's just
Yeah.
try to run all our homes with the hybrid rental strategy and see how it goes. And some locations work better than others. Some houses do better than others, depending on how many bedrooms and zip code. Because especially for displaced families, if they have kids, right, it also depends on school districts.
Mm,
They
true.
don't want to
Yeah.
be too far away from their own house because also they have to be there often to meet contractors, the adjusters. There's a lot of decisions to make. So they want to stay in a certain proximity of their own house.
Hmm.
But we started with the whole hybrid rental strategy like in 2023 and then really worked on calendar management, building relationships with those temporary housing agencies, putting our homes on other platforms like Zillow and Furnished Finder, building relationships more B2B with not just the tier one, like the temporary housing agencies like ALE Solutions, Alacrity CRS, but there's also tier two providers, again, signing up with them. So we have more leads coming in to make sure we can fill our homes. And
Hmm.
in between, that's then the beautiful thing with the hybrid rental strategy. In between, we would fill the gaps with short-term rentals if it's allowed, right? If there's no restrictions or STRs are not banned. But so far, it's doing great. And there's only like the tricky part is just with the leads. There's no guarantee when you get the next lead because nobody can tell you if there's whatever, some catastrophic events happening in your area. But
Right.
the amount of water damage that people experiencing in their homes, for me, it's mind blowing. And you always think that just happens to other people. But once you work in that space and you connect with adjusters and temporary housing agents, it happens so often.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I also like the strategy for our urban markets because most of our homes are in like residential areas. So that the chances that somebody's experiencing damage to their house is fairly high.
Yeah.
So usually have like a good lead flow for those. But yeah, we were just surprised it's working well. And then we really worked on the strategy, the calendar management, the relationships. And that's why I then also at some point like wrote my book, The Hybrid Rental Strategy, to
Ah,
just let others know and also give them kind of a blueprint to say, this is not a new concept, like midterm rentals, the midterm space. It's been there for a very long time, mostly on like for medical professionals. People think about Furnished Finder, less medical, like travel nurses
yeah.
or medical professionals. But the midterm space, there's so much more out there and so many reasons why people do need something in between. It's people
Yeah.
sell a house, the new house isn't ready to move in yet, or they have to sell the old house first to move into the new one, but they already they're moving out. People relocating to the area and they want a furnished place first. So they kind of have a landing spot. And then once they are here, then they're looking into where do we want to buy or rent.
See, I
Right?
find this really interesting because I feel like it's all the benefits of short term
Mhm.
and all the benefits of long term. And on top of that,
Blend it together.
I imagine, yeah. And I imagine also that yeah, it's a little more consistent. A lot of times, you said a lot of times it's the insurance companies paying for these.
Yes.
They're not going to be late on a payment. They're
Oh,
just scheduling that
no.
and forgetting about it. So
And so there is no risk of like, oh, what if I have a long-term tenant, what if they stop paying?
yeah,
But they are in my house. How do I get them out? So there's no fear of kind of evictions or like people turning into squatters because you have the temporary housing agency, like the insurance behind that, paying for it. And usually they pay a premium because most of those cases, it's urgent. They need to
Yeah.
find a place for that family. They oftentimes put them into a hotel first.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Right? If it's water damage, fire damage, I mean, they have to move out right away.
Yeah, right then.
So oftentimes they go to a hotel first and then look into options of what kind of furnished rentals are in the area. And that's something I also like with us providing those spaces, because I like to call them community assets. We are providing an asset for the local community. If somebody has something happen to their home, right?
Yeah.
They experience one of those events, that they have a place in their neighborhood to say, okay, we stay in the same school district. Our kids can maybe still take the school bus, or we are still fairly close to our usual grocery stores, and
Yeah.
life can kind of still continue even so, right? It's a very stressful situation. And for us, it's just great to see we can offer them a temporary home away from home,
Yeah.
staying in their community, having a place that's safe, that's comfortable, that's functional. Um, and most of those tenants are very, very grateful. I mean, we had really beautiful stays and made connections, and they referred us then out to other friends that wanted to come in on the short-term side.
Yeah.
And it's
Wow.
just great to get to know those people and again, helping someone in a really stressful
Yeah.
situation.
In your own community too. That's really
Yeah.
neat. So,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people listening to this are like, sign me up. I'm already in. I want to do it now. So what types of properties work the best for this? In my mind, I'm thinking like, fenced in yard, pet friendly, in a regular kind of neighborhood with where other families are. What kinds of things do you see that make a situation like this more successful?
There's not like a specific type of property where I can say buy a whatever 4-bedroom, 3-bath home and it will do
Yeah.
great.
Because every situation's different. Yeah.
Yes, every situation is different. In our portfolio, we have a couple of townhomes, like 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhomes, all the way up to 5-bedroom or 6-bedroom homes. It's all about, again, location. Yes, a lot of people do have pets, so it's always a big plus if you allow pets in your house. So if you have hardwood floors or the luxury vinyl planks,
Mm.
it's easier to keep it clean versus having carpet in there. And then, of course, fenced in backyard, it's always a big plus because you limit yourself a lot if you do not allow pets in your homes. And the majority of our stays we had from temporary housing agencies, meaning displaced families, they all had a pet, like one or
Yeah.
two doggies, sometimes cats, chinchillas or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Birds.
Well, and the
Um,
thing is, like, so you might be thinking pet friendly, and like someone has 3 big like German shepherds or something, like really big dogs or something. But like me, I have a 9-pound
mhm.
dog that's like
Yeah.
14 years old. Like, like there is no problem there. You
There
barely
is
even
no
notice he's
problem
there.
there. And
Yeah. Yeah.
every house has a different kind of requirements also, depending on what the owner is comfortable with. Not everybody is comfortable taking dogs. So usually we have a weight limit from like, let's say 40
Smart. Yeah.
pounds. And then it's up to the owner's discretion to say, I allow 1, 2, or 3. But oftentimes, like everything is negotiable, right?
Mm.
If you have a family that says we have a 9-pound Chihuahua, but we also do have a 50-pound German Shepherd. It depends on the situation. Then we usually ask for a higher security deposit. They
Mm.
also have to pay a pet fee that's non-refundable. So you also have kind of some cushion if there should be any damages. But you either have the temporary housing agency that's also liable if there should be any damages. And on our side, we also always use Truvi. It's a damage waiver program that we also use for guest verification. They have to sign a rental agreement on the short-term side. but it also covers accidental damages up to $50,000. So we have like several layers in place. If
Yeah,
again, there should be any damages, oftentimes, I mean, with dogs, we just have to do a very thorough deep clean at the end,
sure.
and they are paying for a move out cleaning fee. So we know then we just have to pay more attention with pet hair.
Yeah,
Oftentimes, if we have like a living room rug, we just kick it out and buy a new one. The
yeah. Why
cleaners
not? Yeah,
do their regular deep clean. So
yeah,
we already built those things in, and then providing blankets if they want to have, you know how it is if you say no pets allowed on furniture on beds. If there is, I mean, really dog lover, they're gonna take them into the
yeah.
bed.
There's
They-
there's no stopping that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
what I'm hearing you say is the real perfect property is not a perfect property type. It's flexibility. It's
It's
you've kind of
flexibility, of
built it.
course.
You've built it to
Fenced
be
in backyard
flexible.
is a
Yeah.
plus if you want to accept dogs. But we had a 2-bedroom townhome with a fenced in backyard where we just had a family moving out 2 weeks ago. Again, it was just a couple with 2 dogs. We had them since November. They moved in mid-November. They just moved out 2 weeks ago. Um, and again, I think for over the time, oh my gosh, I have to look up the number, but I mean, they paid over $5,000 every month
Oh,
since November, right? So
yeah.
again, for
That's
me, this income stability is huge for me because I'm all about stability. Um, I if it's just like a short-term rental property and you look into the calendar and you look into it's all empty, that freaks me out. But with
yeah,
my midterm rentals, I know, oh, even if I have a contract for 2 months, I know they're usually gonna extend it. So I know exactly for the next couple of weeks to couple of months, I don't have to worry about this property. I don't have to come up with specific pricing strategies, special promotions on Airbnb, VRBO. How do I market? How do I fill this property on the that's why I like on the midterm side. It's income stability. I know it's one family or one guest staying there for several weeks
hmm
makes it way easier for me to handle. So again, that's why I would always prefer the hybrid rental strategy just compared to short term. And
yeah.
you can also tell like over the years, like things are getting harder and harder on the short term side. Like we have seen the comparison since 2019. This year on the STR side has been super, super slow. Atlanta has so many listings. Everybody wants a piece of the cake. Most people are desperate. They have to pay their mortgage. So what are they doing? They're dropping the price.
Mhm.
And we use price labs, we use dynamic pricing. So they are dragging me down with them.
I see what
And
you're saying.
how do you get out of this cycle, right? I don't want to drop my prices any further, but if my properties, they look so much more expensive than if I'm not dropping the prices,
Yeah.
then I'm not getting booked. So that doesn't help me at all.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And so I think this is really interesting. And I also think this may appeal to someone who's maybe, either maybe wants some use of that property still, where you can say, I just am not going to use it for the next 6 months. Or I could also see it being like, hey, it's a little bit safer because I have that cushion. You said yourself the rents tend to be significantly higher. So you could say, well, maybe I can afford to have 3 or 4 months of the year where I'm not actually renting out because these other months
Yep.
are higher. What do you think is a mistake that people make when they're starting to kind of dive into this space and they think they're all covered, but maybe not as much as they think?
Number A is really make sure that they have some financial cushion
Mhm.
because for the midterm space, there's a possibility your house might sit empty for a couple of weeks until you are able to secure that first lead.
Mm,
Sometimes, right, it takes a little bit to get the momentum going and submitting your property to all those different platforms where people look for monthly stays. So always make sure you are able to maybe cover the mortgage and utilities was everything stays in your name. Make sure you have the financial cushion to maybe pay for the next 2 or 3 months if you don't get a lead. Um,
mm.
but then also just focus on promoting the property on the correct platforms. And again, there's a niche for that. And now also with the whole digitalization, people can work from everywhere. So you
True.
also
Yeah.
have people that are kind of moving around and say, I'm flexible. I can work with my laptop as long as I have Wi-Fi. I can be anywhere.
Yeah.
and they might hang out in Atlanta for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then they're like, okay, I'm done here. Let's move to Florida or California or somewhere else. So you have more people looking for those flexible type of arrangements and properties where they can only rent it for 3 months and don't have to be signing a 12 months lease. So I think that's what we also gonna see going forward. People want the flexibility. You have the baby boomers that are now
Mm.
saying, we sold our 5-bedroom house in Connecticut and our kids are, one is in Texas, the other one is in Florida. Let's
Oh,
just,
yeah. I didn't even think
right?
about that. Yeah, that'd
Let's
be a
just
great
hang out
situation.
with the kids, maybe, right? Their kids are getting a baby and they are like,
Yeah.
we want to be close for a couple of weeks, help them out, but we don't want to be in their house. So we want to get our own place
And
in the
hotels are
ideal
expensive. I mean,
situation,
if you look at the price
right?
between,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
perfect situation. Yeah.
Yes. And they
So,
might rent the place for a couple of weeks and say, perfect, like we don't want to sign a 6 months, 12 months lease. Everything is furnished, utilities are paid for, we got Wi-Fi. We
yeah.
just move in with our luggage, with our suitcase, and we can spend a couple of weeks with our kids in Florida, and then let's move to Texas to their other son or daughter. So there's more and more of those people that are looking for those flexible spaces that are
Yeah.
furnished. And that's, I mean, especially if you're already doing short-term rentals, you already have a furnished property.
Yeah. True.
So why not put it on more platforms, like give it more visibility and be open to people that say, okay, we are moving to the area, or we only have a special assignment, right? Also looking into corporate travelers. We
Yeah.
all here for 6 months, 3 months, construction workers, IT, like consultation. So tapping into the corporate world, corporate market, where people only need a place for a couple of months, and the corporations are paying for the rent.
Yeah.
Not
Are there any downsides to having this on multiple platforms? Like, I would imagine that it's just that there's
it's
no real difference.
no, it's just a little bit more tedious because you have to
Yeah. Manage
watch
both
more
sides. Yeah.
platforms. And when it comes to short-term rentals, right? Like we use OwnerRes as our property management system, and there's Guesty and Hospitable, and you have your listing on Airbnb and maybe on Verbo or Booking. All the communication flows into your property management system, right? All those booking inquiries and questions, they all flow into one property management system. But if you have your property listed on Zillow, on Furnished Finder, on other platforms, you have to monitor those other platforms kind of manually. It's not all flowing into one property management system. So it's a little bit more work, but that's, we are working with virtual assistants for many, many years now.
Hmm.
So then they get those tasks assigned to say, you have to check Furnished Finder or Zillow daily to make sure we are not missing out on any of those leads. And that was also one of the reasons why you have tools and software for short-term rentals. You have tools and software for long-term rentals, but there's nothing really for midterm and
Hmm.
nothing that combines all three platform things into one. And that's what we are now challenged with as a brokerage. We want to do short-term, midterm, and long-term, right? We want for all those three strategies to our investors to say, we can choose the strategy that works best for your house or maybe for your portfolio, and you can mix things up. You can have long-term. This property would be best for short-term, and this property would be a great hybrid. How do I bring all those leads and all the things I have to manage, cleaners, maintenance, how do I bring it all together in one software?
Yeah.
And there was nothing out there, so we just built our own. So that's what
Oh,
we are
nice.
working on now. I don't want to work with all those different tools. And my husband, again, he loves AI, so he just sat down and said, "Okay, let's build our own." And at some point, we can roll in tools like Slack, like team communication, roll
Yeah.
it into our own software. All the leads are coming in. People can schedule discovery calls, and then we kind of move them through different phases where they move from discovery call to, okay, they are interested. We send them a property management agreement. They signed onboarding. So we have all those different phases. And down the road, we want to move all our other software tools that we are still using for sending out agreements for e-signatures, right? Usually you have DocuSign or,
Yeah.
and you're paying for all those other tools and it's adding up. It's a lot of money you
Yeah.
pay.
Seriously.
And we want to roll everything into one software to make it easy for those operators that are also trying to do short-term, midterm, or maybe long-term.
Huh.
and there's nothing out there. So that's another kind of project we are working on the
Yeah.
side, to
Love that.
building a system that we then down the road, we can also sell to other providers and say, hey, if there's maybe other brokerages or operators that say, we want to do everything. We don't want to be just limited to STR. We want to do MTR and LTR.
Mhm.
Here's a system that kind of blends everything together.
Well, I love that. It sounds like you've really found a place where you feel comfortable, but also you're kind of helping people figure out how awesome it is as well. So
Yeah.
if people want to kind of learn more about this, you said you have a book, you said you've got all kinds of things like that. Where can people learn more about this
Mhm.
type of rentals, but also get in touch with you? Who should be getting in
Mhm.
touch with you?
Yeah. The easiest way is probably our website, peachhousegroup.com. And otherwise, I'm also on LinkedIn. I am on like Facebook, Instagram. If you search for either Anja Schaer, or on Instagram, it's Anja_invests. They can find me. The hybrid rental strategy, our book it's on Amazon. So if they Google the hybrid rental strategy, Anja Schaer, this will come up so people can get a better idea of, is this maybe something I can apply in my market or for my property? So it's kind of a
Yeah.
blueprint, and also to see, okay, how can this work for me? And again, there's different strategies, because I think it depends if you are in a typical vacation market. So if you
Mhm.
have a furnished rental like Florida on the beaches or like Smoky Mountains, for those markets, it makes sense to say you just have it as an STR in the peak season and then
Mm.
switch it over to MTR in those slower seasons.
Yeah.
But for our market, being in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, those urban markets, we run the hybrid rental strategy throughout the year. We don't switch from just STR to just MTR. So we try to run it throughout the year, because again, oftentimes I can make more money with an MTR versus STR. And especially now for the summer, it's the World Cup, right? We have
Yeah.
many
True.
games in Atlanta, but it's really disappointing for the Atlanta market. I have to say that it's not what they thought they can make. We had properties sitting empty in June. And you would have thought there's like
Yeah,
thousands
really.
of people traveling to Atlanta. We didn't have the best teams for the group stage. So we didn't have those top-notch games.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't drawing as much, I guess, visitors as
Yeah.
the other locations. Um, and then also, I mean, with the economy and there's so much uncertainty. There's still a war, Ukraine, Iran, and a
Yeah.
lot of people in Europe are like on the fence to say, do I really want to spend tens of thousands of dollars to
Yeah.
fly to the US, get those tickets? I need a
Makes sense.
hotel,
Yeah.
I need a rental car. I mean, it's really expensive if you think about it.
Yeah. Well,
So
all the more reason to get this strategy where,
yes,
I mean,
and
corporations can pay your rent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was looking into our calendar, and a couple of properties that we had hoped for that would fill for the World Cup that are like in close proximity to the stadium, they were sitting empty. And then we had those other properties where I'm like, thank goodness we have like, I think right now, like 5 properties with midterm tenants, like insurance claim tenants.
Wow.
Like, I don't have to worry about the summer and maybe not getting the World Cup bookings that I had hoped for, because
Yeah.
I got somebody in there who's staying for 6 months. I mean, we got an insurance claim contract for one of our
Yeah.
properties, 12 months, a full year paid by the insurance.
That's
Was
awesome. Well,
higher
this
than that.
sounds. I guarantee there's going to be a few people that are listening to this that are gonna. The first thing they're gonna do is put down their phone and Google the strategy, because this sounds like a really great situation for a lot of people that maybe want to do the short term thing, but just maybe don't have the bandwidth, or they want to kind of make things a little safer for themselves. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
This has been really awesome. I think you took something complicated and you make it really sound practical. It's
I hope
it's
so.
just a difference in how you're thinking about it. So thanks again for being here and sharing your story. And for everybody listening, if you got something from this, make sure you're subscribed. We will see you on the next episode. And thank you very much, Anja. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.